You're not getting anywhere with this, Von Borchert.
You know, I kind of get the same feeling, my dear Sarah. Listen. Nothing. Not a sound. No one's coming to save you.
That's what you think. The Golden Order knows exactly where we are.
By the time your ridiculous secret society turns up, I'll be long gone. As for you, nothing will remain of your body.
If you touch a single hair on my mother's head, I'll skin you alive.
You know, Louis, I have no intention of beating your dear mother. There are more persuasive ways of making you talk. You've stolen something from me that I intend to get back. Where have you hidden it?
Von Borchert, you can't sell that book on the black market anymore. This is finished.
We know you're planning on selling at one of Lord Mortimer's parties. All right? Just tell us who the buyer is and we can make a deal.
You've no idea of the trouble you've gotten yourselves into. Oh, but you will tell me where it's hidden. I can promise you that.
Stop annoying our host, Louis. Son, didn't what happened to you in Rome teach you anything?
Just a few more minutes and my concoction will be ready. With this, your bodies will dissolve in less than 4 hours. You'll see. It loosens tongues in no time.
You know, I have to admit, Mother, the only thing you've ever taught me is that damn motto of yours. Always remain rational. And open. I got it. I've opened our shackles.
Draw him over here. I'll take care of him.
Von Borchert! Von Borchert!
Hmm?
Listen. Let's make a deal. I'll tell you where the book is if you let my mother go free.
Oh, what are you playing at?
Don't worry, Mother.
You want to play the hero. Pity you're not in any position to do so. For the last time. Where is Al-Azif?
Let me do this. Trust me.
Please, be my guest, Mother.
Well done, Louis. You reacted perfectly.
How do you feel, Mother?
Couldn't be better. He's alive, so I can question him after we get back. Pity he's just a middleman. Means I haven't finished with this case.
Oh, I had a feeling you'd be running off on one of your adventures again, Mother. You know what? I'm warning you. This time, I'm coming with you.
No. Even though you impress me more and more, I have to do this on my own.
Mother, you're no spring chicken anymore.
Come on, let's go home. And don't forget to send our men to tend to Von Borchert.
Well done, Mother. You just had to pick up Von Burchard's trail on your own, didn't you? You ditch me in Paris with no explanation, and off you go to infiltrate one of the world-renowned receptions of this Lord Mortimer? And now he writes me to say that you've gone missing on his private island? Which, by the way, looks more like a big rock than a paradise island. The least he could do is explain to me how he managed to lose you. In any case, it is time for you to stop all this, Mother. It no longer suits your age. Well, I'm sure I'll find you once again, slogging through the caves beneath the island, searching for some long-lost mystical object that you just can't live without. I'm already hating this trip, and all I've done is think
Contrary
about
to
it.
what one may be able to imagine, it was not the host himself who invited me.
Well now, Duchess, we find ourselves both invited by Sir Holm.
Well, how very amusing. Perhaps we have some common interests, Your Eminence. Is this your first time at one of Lord Mortimer's legendary parties?
Oh no, we have been friends since long ago. But as I'm doing some business with Sir Holm, the invitation came from him.
Well, I simply can't wait for all the festivities to begin.
And you, good sir, what brings you here?
Lord Mortimer asked me to join him. We have some business to take care of.
Oh, how mysterious. You adapt quickly, my son. You get along here like a fish in water. Would you believe that we are all here hoping to solve our personal issues? You'll see.
Right. I doubt that you came here to look for your mother, Your Eminence.
Anyway, consider yourself fortunate, young man, because there are many who dream of simply one day setting foot on this island. And only a very few ever make it. Indeed, I imagine this must be your first time here.
And you, Duchess? You seem to be quite accustomed to things here. Am I right?
I do not think that one can ever get accustomed to what Lord Mortimer prepares for his guests. But you are right. This is not the first time I've been on this wharf.
If you've come back again, I imagine you must find it to be of some interest.
Here, everything is possible if you make the right choices. It really is up to you whether you leave better off or not.
Please excuse me if you find me overly curious, young man. I did not mean to cause you any embarrassment. Come, Duchess. They are waiting for us.
We're moving, Monsieur de Richet, if you would like to join us.
I'm coming, Duchess. A cardinal? A duchess? I wonder if all the guests here are this prestigious. If I'd known, I would have gone for a better suit.
Are you all right?
Mother? Oh shit, your hand!
So,
Okay, it's done.
did you put it in a safe place?
Yes. I made sure no one was following me. Don't worry, Sarah. No one's going to find it.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Right. Just one thing left to do.
No, Mother, no, don't!
What? Have you lost your mind?
There's no other way.
If you kill me, you won't find it.
That is the point, my dear. No one must ever put their hands on it again.
No. But I trusted you.
No, Sarah. Don't. No. No! You can run if you want to, Sarah, but you will pay. Done.
Hugh.
Louis, are you all right? What's going on? Here, take this.
I'm sorry.
Keep it. Are you better?
I'm fine. Don't worry. It's getting late. Why don't you go on ahead and I'll catch up with you, okay?
Are you sure?
Yes! I'm sorry. I'm sure, yes.
Fine.
I definitely have to find Mother quickly.
Am I going crazy or what? This can't be real. The Duchess arrived with me. What's happening to me, for God's sake? I absolutely need to find you, Mother.
Louis, during the trip, I had something I wanted to ask you, but we didn't happen to run into each other.
Yes, Duchess?
I'm not sure if you remember, but we've met before. At that time, you were of two minds as to your choice of career. Tell me, what have you been up to since?
Well, over the last few years, I've solved a number of crime cases. Like the chauffeur d'Orgère, for example. Thieves that torture their victims with burning embers.
Charming. How did you catch them?
I told the most cowardly one that the others had given him up.
Ah, and I wager your thief suddenly started to talk.
You wouldn't believe it. He told us everything. The jobs, the stashes, the names of his partners. Couldn't shut him up.
I heard about that case, but I didn't know you were the one who solved it.
I'm flattered that the news made it across the channel. And you've got a darn good memory, Duchess.
Well, they say I have the memory of two people. But please, call me Emily.
Fine, Emily. Tell me, I was actually helped on that case by my mother. You wouldn't know her by any chance?
Wait, Louis. We've already met. You do remember me, don't you?
How could I forget a woman such as yourself?
A woman such as me? What a sweet talker you are. Remind me of how we met?
Oh, Emily, I am marked for life. I'm sure you leave your mark on every man who crosses your path.
Pardon?
That extravagant uniqueness, with its rare blend of whimsical banality and cat-like curiosity. There's a veil of mystery around you that only adds to your charm and your curves. You would enchant any man.
Hold it, Louis. You've lost me there.
It's as though you have several women hidden inside you, Emily. I mustn't share my true feelings about you. If I ever dared, I...
No, dare not, Louis. Better that way. You go and take a deep breath, and we'll forget all about it.
Hey, Emily, you've gone all red. Are you blushing?
Right, time to go to the manor.
I ask her a question, she answers with another. Is she playing with me? Emily, please excuse my insisting, but you still haven't answered about my mother. Do you know her?
You'll see, Louis. Everybody here knows Sarah de Richet.
I don't know where we're going like this, Emily, but you're connected to my mother one way or another. And if I can believe my vision, you don't have much of a place in her heart.
Good evening, sir. May I ask your name, please?
Louis Moras de Richet.
Monsieur de Richet. Delighted to welcome you among us, sir. You must be Sarah de Richet's son. I must tell you we are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
I have an appointment with Lord Mortimer. Would you be so kind as to lead me to him?
Unfortunately, sir, I cannot. I don't know exactly where my master is. But rest assured, sir, everyone is waiting for you at the manor. Sir Holm insists on welcoming you in person. Since your mother went missing, everyone has been concerned about finding her.
Who is Sir Holm?
A close friend of Lord Mortimer's. Please, rest assured, sir, it won't take us long to find your revered mother. Indeed, we are searching the quays again because lights were seen at the wharf just last night.
Where we are now?
Indeed, sir. According to our information, lights were seen in the middle of the night, sir. After verification, none of the guests seem to have left the manor last night. We think that perhaps Sir's mother was here.
And did you find anything then?
We discovered a certain amount of damage, sir, on the wooden part of the wharf.
What type of damage?
Broken barrels, mainly. We'll do whatever is necessary to have them rapidly repaired. But quite frankly, I can't imagine what Sir's mother would have been doing with them.
What could Mother have been doing with barrels?
Nevertheless, our search of the wharf hasn't been entirely unsuccessful, though.
What do you mean?
We seem to have found an object that would appear to belong to Sir's mother. A handkerchief. The handkerchief is embroidered with the initials S.D.R. We came to the conclusion that they are the initials of Sir's mother, Sarah de Richet. I have orders to give it to Lord Mortimer as soon as I see him.
I know my mother. She's not the kind to go for a midnight stroll on the wharf for nothing. I've got to find out what the hell she was doing here.
Where exactly did you find the handkerchief?
On the landing dock, sir. The one you arrived by.
Give me the handkerchief. I'll personally show it to Lord Mortimer.
Well,
I've traveled hard for several days in order to get here.
Yes, but...
Invited by your master.
No, of course, but...
Because my mother went missing right under your nose.
Sir, please.
And having only just arrived, you refused to give me her personal belongings?
Of course not, sir. It was never my intention to contradict, sir. Here you are. I must return now. It is still much to prepare in order to welcome all the guests.
It is indeed your handkerchief, Mother. You must have come here for a specific reason. I need to know what it is. Let's think. What could she have been doing out here on this wharf? A Latin inscription. En nessis, mi fili, quantilia produncia mundus ergatur. You don't know, my son, how little wisdom the world is governed with. I tend to agree. A Latin inscription. En nessis, mi fili, quantilia produncia mundus ergatur. You don't know, my son, how little wisdom the world is governed with. I tend to agree. The barrel's been broken for quite some time. This chest might belong to Duchess Hillsborough.
Must be an incredible view from up there. Impossible to set foot on the island without being seen from 300 meters away.
A sack of seeds. It's unopened. No one seems to have used any. Looks like a bar from an old gate. This miserable old bar has been broken fairly recently. The edges are still clean, and the tip is blackened. Without analysis to the contrary, I put my money on cannon powder. This might just come in handy. Some rope. Apparently no one's touched it for a good long time. A lantern. Nothing special.
A Chinese coin.
Let's see what's hidden inside. Let's look.
It's too badly written, I can't make out the address. The address is 50 Bedford Square, London.
A letter written in an Oriental language.
This letter's in Japanese. It's addressed to a certain Kei Shotaro in Tokyo. The addressee's in Sao Paulo, Brazil. That reminds me, it's about time the order sent some envoys there.
Probably a Dutchman. This envelope is meant for the Vatican. Apparently this letter is meant for Pope Pius VI, born Giovanni Braschi. I wonder which one of these people is influential enough to write to the Pope in person.
An address in Cairo, Egypt. Mortimer communicates with the whole world, apparently.
Probably a Dutchman. Hôtel de Cluny, Rue de Mathurin, Paris. I guarantee this letter is for my mother. The address is a hideout for the Golden Order. If you write anyone over there, you have to watch out in case someone's reading your mail.
But who is this Samuel Ritter d'Auchois?
Let's see what's inside this letter. So,
Dear Samuel, my stay on Lord Mortimer's island is going wonderfully well. As I find myself in such charming company, I plan to stay a few more weeks. Would you be so kind as to send me a gift that I'd like to give to our old friend Manuel Godoy? I would be most grateful. I have been told that he's going to join us here soon. I would like to mark the occasion. Thank you in advance. Yours devotedly, Sarah Faustine de Richet.
what is your game here, Mother? Secrets, always more secrets. You never talk to anyone using language like this. Something's going on here. Who is this Samuel Ritter? And for crying out loud, who is this Manuel Godoy that you keep bringing up? Think. Godoy. Manuel Godoy. Why does that name sound so familiar? Ah, it's coming back to me. Godoy is the head of the Spanish government. He was appointed by King Charles IV, if I'm not mistaken. Rumor has it that he's very close to the Queen. Too close. Much too close. But hey, that's none of my business. He has a reputation of being upright and proud, very attached to the aristocracy, and close to Louis XVI. Well, hope we meet to talk about it soon, Mother. I don't know what you've gotten yourself into this time, but I'll bet you've got a lot to tell me. Let's see what's hidden inside. Let's look. Wooden floorboard. Judging by the splinters of the wood, this floorboard has been ripped up. Yet it was in decent condition. I wonder why someone ripped it up. What's the point of doing this? Probably comes from this part of the wharf. The wood is slightly eaten away, of course, but it still would have been fine if it weren't smashed. Probably comes from this part of the wharf. The wood is slightly eaten away, of course, but it still would have been fine if it weren't smashed. Hey, there's something not right about this floorboard. It's different from the rest. Somebody replaced it recently, but looks like it's fixed pretty solidly in place. It's going to be tough to rip it out of here. There we go. Let's see what's hidden inside. There's a book and also a bag. The Mysterium Cosmographicum. I know that book well. Mother used to read passages from it to me all the time. And judging from what I can see, it's the same one as hers. For crying out loud, what's happened to you, Mother? Let's look inside the bag. A little food, a few toiletries, a small key, and some kind of black powder. Some fruit, a piece of bacon, and some bread. The fruit's still firm. And the bread's a bit stale. From the smell, this food's been here roughly 2 days. And if it's rationed, there's enough left to last 2 more days. Those are definitely my mother's things. I recognize her hairpins. This bag smells of her perfume. A piece of soap, some oils, and her powder puff. But what does all this mean? The bottom of the bag is covered in black powder. An iron key completely rusted. You never know. It might be useful. I hope Mother wasn't counting on it. Right, that's enough. I think I better leave her bag here. If she hid all this, it's because she thought she might need it later. Crying out loud. Why did you hide supplies in the middle of nowhere, Mother? It's locked. I'll never get it open barehanded. There we are. This looks like a pistol case, but it's empty. I don't know if this has anything to do with you, Mother, but if it does, at least now you're armed. Just like in my vision. And none of it's telling me anything useful. This wharf is used as storage for a lot of barrels. Uh-huh. What have we here? It's cannon powder. The powder's wet. Not surprising, given the dampness of the dock. It's unusable now. I don't know what the person who left this barrel like this had in mind, but it's a waste. So, let's go through this. My mother's been hiding pieces of bread between the rotten boards of the wharf in the middle of the night. That's not normal. And if that weren't enough, it looks now like she's armed. Meanwhile, she also takes the time to send out letters, reassuring whoever might be interested that she's having a fabulous time here. So odd. So very odd. And that's not even all I've noticed. But maybe I ought to move on to the manor now. They'll be waiting for me. At least I hope so.
Amber.
Right, that's enough. I think I better leave her bag here. If she hid all this, it's because she thought she might need it later. How did Mortimer manage to build his manor at the top of a rocky outcrop?
Impressive.
Ah, my son. I was looking for you.
What can I do for you, Your Eminence?
I wanted to ask you. You are the son of Sara de Riche, aren't you? You see, your mother and I were supposed to meet here on this very spot. I was supposed to hand her a very important envelope. But I haven't seen her.
If only Mother had told me why she was coming here. Anyway, I ought to take the envelope. It might have something to do with her disappearance.
Listen, if it will help, you can always give it to me.
Thank you, my son. I'll bear that in mind. I'd rather deal with her directly. Don't take it personally. Would you happen to know if your mother has arrived yet?
Certainly, Your Eminence. Mother got here some time ago. I was hoping to find her when I arrived, but given the hour, she must be asleep by now.
Right. I shall see her tomorrow, then.
By the way, Your Eminence, I wasn't aware you knew my mother.
Ah, if you only knew, my son. I hold your mother in the highest regard. She has rendered great service to the church, and her help is invaluable. I hope that you will follow in her footsteps.
If only she had told me where she was headed.
Nonetheless, our exchanges have always been discreet, and I should like them to remain as such. If your mother wishes to speak to you about us one day, I will not mind if she does so.
That is very commendable. But since we work together on a daily basis, it's surely just an oversight.
Most certainly. You said you work together. What do you do exactly?
Mother passed her passion for art to me. Ancient art. Very ancient.
I didn't know your mother was an art lover.
Mainly pre-Christian objects which are believed to have unique properties.
Well, how interesting. Now that you mention it, I can indeed imagine Sarah getting interested in that.
All the same, it bothers me to see you in a quandary, Your Eminence. Is there any other solution? Look, if it's of any help, you can always leave your envelope with me and I'll give it to her as soon as I see her.
I hesitate. Up till now, we have always dealt with her in person, and that has always been successful. Do you think I should give it to you?
Look, you seem hesitant. The simplest thing to do is just to give it to her when you see her. After all, it's not that urgent.
Yes. I mean, yes, it's urgent. I mean, what if we don't find each other here on the island?
Though I don't know yet when I'll be leaving. I might not be staying for very long. What to do? Can you see a solution?
Come on. Just give me the letter for crying out loud.
I cannot run the risk alone. I am going to trust you. You seem like an honest man.
Bingo.
Listen to me, my child. If I give you the letter, can you promise me before God that no one other than your mother will read it?
The finest minds of the century were present, if I'm not mistaken.
Your Eminence, if there's one thing you can count on, it's the value of a promise made by a Dervish. Respecting our commitments has always been the pillar of our family, and nothing nor nobody will prevent that from happening. Since you know my mother, you should know that a Dervish always keeps their word. You can be sure of that.
Thank you, my son. It is most reassuring.
You're welcome, especially since I promised you nothing, my friend.
Listen, let's stop there. I'm going to tell you a secret, Monsieur Derice. Your mother and I are organizing the escape of a large number of French priests who face a massacre organized by the accursed Republican tribunals. The church is literally being bled like a beast. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine. She has made the services of your order available to us by organizing the priests' safe passage across the borders. Even if she does not share all our convictions, she always provided assistance. Young man, you can be proud to be her son. Be it only for her sake. Always respect your name. Here, the letter I spoke of. It includes a list of about 15 names ready for departure. Be quick. Remember to tell Sarah when you see her that time is short.
Well played. I'll decide later when I'm alone whether to look at what it contains. Lord Mortimer certainly has a taste for staging rooms. Blind Oedipus. Blinded himself. What a tragic destiny. Fall of the Damned by Rubens. The man who cannot achieve the salvation of God the Father is offered to fall into the depths of the abyss.
It is remarkable. Where did you find it?
I found out many things. Not everything, I guess.
I'm not sure if I understand.
Few people know about the legend. You don't really.
Saturn devouring his son. Good God, how awful. Everything in this painting is disturbing. It's the first time I've seen brushstrokes like this. Crucifixion of St. Peter. He was crucified upside down, out of humility. Surprising for an entrance hall. Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans by Plutarch, a biography of the great men. Open to Brutus's page. Caesar, stabbed by multiple blows at once, sees Brutus raise the dagger on him. Then, covering his head with his robe, he delivers himself to the arms of the conspirators. Nice family. Let's keep it. Might come in handy someday.
I thought my chimney was big, but this one is beyond belief.
It's the least one can say. I've been longing for a warm fire for ages.
Since I set foot on the island, I haven't ventured more than 2 yards away from it.
Have you also just arrived?
Oh, late morning, I'd say.
Louis, come join us. Monsieur, may I introduce you to Monseigneur His Eminence, Cardinal Piaggi. He joins us straight from Rome.
Oh, just call me Your Eminence. It's simpler.
George Washington, President of the United States of America.
Delighted at last to make your acquaintance, Mr. President.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. President. Louis Moras de Richet. It is an honor to meet you.
Young man, let's keep it simple, please. Let us forget our fancy titles. Nice to meet you, Louis.
I should imagine you never thought you'd be in such company.
I must admit that I didn't. It's the first time that I've ever met so many illustrious personalities.
And you haven't seen anything yet. Generally, when Lord Mortimer organizes one of his receptions, there are over a dozen people here.
They can't all be here yet, and you'll see, most of the time there's only the upper crust.
And I noticed you were already getting to know His Eminence at the entrance. It's the perfect place to build up a network. What were you talking about, if you'll forgive my indiscretion?
At the risk of disappointing you, we weren't conspiring in our corner, sir. His Eminence was simply telling me that he knew my mother and how much he held her in high esteem.
It so happens that Monsieur de Richet's mother is to join us.
Oh, pity. No scrumptious gossip or juicy tidbits, unmentionable secrets, or even money matters. But you'll see, it will come. Despite all the goodwill in the world, you can't stop people scheming left and right around here.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, my friends, do any of you know the reason why we're here this time?
Not in the slightest. As for me, I've been invited by Sir Horn, a close friend of Lord Mortimer, but I do not know the reason why.
You see, Louis, every time Lord Mortimer organizes a reception, he always finds a moment to set up a chat with all the guests.
During which time we remake the world.
Accompanied by gallons of absinthe and cussing. I'll leave you to imagine the result.
So, if I understand rightly, Monsieur de Richet, you've come out here to join your mother. For what reason, exactly?
Like you, Mr. President, I'm here as a result of Lord Mortimer's invitation.
2 members of the same family here. That is rare.
You know what they say. You can pick your nose, but you can't pick your family.
Seriously, though, I know your mother well. Stay behind with me afterwards, and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Good Lord! Washington is wearing the emblem of the Grand Master of the Golden Order. It's the highest distinction of the Order in the United States. It puts him on par with my mother. He must really know his stuff when it comes to the occult.
Good evening, my friends.
Holy shit! That's the man from my vision.
An urgent case has delayed our host, Lord Mortimer. He can't be present this evening, and he sends his deepest apologies.
He's asked me here and he hasn't even turned up? Great start. Do you know that man?
Sir Gregory Holm, an English aristocrat, very influential. He's also close to Lord Mortimer, so don't be surprised if he acts like he's at home.
And now, my dear guests, a light meal is served in the small salon. For those who would like to, you're invited to follow me into the next room.
My dear fellow, you must have read my thoughts. I shall follow.
We'll have to be careful not to make too much noise. One of Lord Mortimer's guests is relaxing.
Oh, we shall be quiet.
Don't take it the wrong way, Sir Holm, but I have already eaten. Thus, I shall be happy to remain by the fireside.
If you don't mind, Gregory, I should like to keep Mr. Washington company.
Please feel at home. And you, sir?
If I stay with Washington, we'll be able to speak about my mother. But on the other hand, I'd like to learn more about this home. I saw him in my vision. Let's see what Washington has to say.
Sir, if you don't mind, I shall stay here.
Do exactly as you please, young man.
Louis, thank you for staying. Just like you, when I arrived this morning, I found out that Sarah had gone missing. I know your mother well. Don't worry. Emily is from the English branch of the Golden Order.
And President Washington is in fact the leader of the Order in the United States.
I didn't know.
Sorry to have made you wait, but I didn't want to speak in front of the others.
You did well. Secrecy and discretion are the pillars of our organization.
If I can help in any way at all, please don't hesitate to ask, my lad. And if you have any other questions, now's the time.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
Lord Mortimer is a remarkable man. He's wealthy and is advisor to the very highly placed. Your mother is the head of the Order in France. It doesn't surprise me that he asked her to come.
Lord Mortimer greatly contributed to financing my electoral campaign, for example. But I want this to be clear, without ever seeking to gain an advantage.
And that is to his credit.
Yes, you can trust him. He will do everything in his power to help you find Sarah.
Mr. Washington, you seem to be very familiar with my mother.
Where did you first meet her?
I met Sarah during the War of Independence on American soil. She was introduced to me by a mutual acquaintance, and I must say that her sound advice prevented me from making some terrible mistakes. She may not be a soldier, but believe me, she deserves a statue as much as Lafayette does.
Well, I didn't see that one coming. There's no doubt Mother has many secrets that are still hidden. Right. Would it be too much if I asked you a few more questions?
Not at all. Go ahead. But I can't promise I'll remember everything.
May I ask, when you saw each other, what did you talk about? So, my mother was with you during the American Revolution. Did you talk about politics?
Yes. In spite of her young age, she defended our cause with enthusiasm.
Did she go to the front line like your famous gunner, Molly Pitcher?
Yes, in a way.
The role given to women in your war was a great step forward.
Lee, I am impressed. Few people know about the legend of Molly, so you don't know the true story. Molly Pitcher is a character invented by Sarah. She persuaded me to use a heroic female figure, an American Joan of Arc, if you will. It enabled us to gain a few thousand extra fighters, and it was all thanks to your mother.
I didn't know that. Thank you, sir. I was hoping to speak with Lord Mortimer. At least now I have some information, thanks to you.
I repeat, Lord Mortimer is a man of his word. You won't be disappointed. And I am persuaded that your mother's research is his main concern.
Mother still is at the head of the Golden Order. I find it difficult to believe that she came to this island without notifying the other members.
As for myself, I did not know. I am here at the request of Sir Holm, a situation regarding the Crown of England to resolve, and to see what Lord Mortimer has to propose to us.
As for me, Lord Mortimer asked me here to speak about the future of America. I did not know that your mother would even be among us. In any case, no one has yet mentioned associating the Order.
We haven't found many clues yet. But I did find a book that belongs to my mother.
Where did you find it?
That's what worries me. I found it hidden on the wharf.
Do you think she was preparing to discreetly leave?
I don't know.
An extremely likely proposition.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Don't worry, Louis. I'm sure nothing bad has happened to her.
Yes, I hope not.
Careful, they're coming back.
Well, I am impressed with all this splendor.
But don't spend too much time with Mr. Washington, my dear, or you'll lose your pretty accent. You seem to be intrigued by that statue.
Absolutely. It is remarkable.
Lord Mortimer is fond of atypical works of art. I won't disguise the fact that I find it all a little megalomaniacal. But I must say, he does have some outstanding pieces.
The statue is impressive, and so are the paintings. Rubens, the Caravage, Guignero. Lord Mortimer has very good taste, and the means to express it.
Oh, I see our young sir is a connoisseur.
Yes, in my spare time. Yet, I couldn't tell you who the artist of that painting there is. I think I recognize a theme, but the style intrigues me.
Saturn devouring his son. Oh, well, you wouldn't know. And the artist is none other than Lord Mortimer. I thought for a long time that the painting wasn't finished, but my old friend assured me it was. Still, there's no accounting for taste.
Not very conventional, but it sure does hold your attention.
You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
Sir Holm, who was that young lady with you?
Elizabeth Adams, Mr. President. She would have liked to have stayed with us, but the poor thing is exhausted.
Elizabeth Adams?
Just mentioning Elizabeth totally changed Washington's attitude. Looks like he just saw a ghost.
Miss Adams is here to rest. You have perhaps already come across her in the corridors. She arrived a few days ago.
I perceived her, but we weren't introduced.
Rest assured, she is not here for the same reasons as yourselves. Consequently, I'm counting on your indulgence.
Washington looks surprised, but Holmes doesn't seem to see it. I wonder if he's being polite or if he really doesn't see his discomfort.
On that note, it's very late. You must be exhausted. The servant will accompany you to your rooms.
Ladies, gentlemen, I bid you all good night. Mr. President, Your Eminence, Duchess, you have the same rooms as usual. You, Monsieur de Richet, will find your room at the end of the corridor.
Well, my friends, I am bone tired. I am off to my bed. See you in the morning.
Good night, sir. I shall do likewise.
Louis, I shall see you in the morning. Sleep well.
Good night. See you tomorrow. Oh, man. It's been quite a day. Right. Where is my room? Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Duke Manuel Godoy. Huh, that's me. Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. President George Washington. Decorum Guide. A few leaves out of an old encyclopedia. Sur Jacques Perreux. Monsieur Napoléon Bonaparte. Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Duke Manuel Godoy. Huh, that's me. Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. A Chinese coin, recognizable by the hole in the middle. If I remember rightly, that's called a cash. President George Washington. Monsieur Johann van Woolner. devil's thorn. I'll keep it.
Monsieur Jacques Perru? Monsieur Napoléon Bonaparte. Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Huh, that's me. Right. So what shall I do with this letter? It might be about my mother's disappearance. But if I open it, I'll be betraying Biaggi's trust. What should I do? So, it really is a list of French countrymen. Biaggi wasn't lying. Wow! Nice room. Mortimer sure doesn't do things halfway. Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here.
Lovely lectures Mortimer's giving to his guests. Very jolly.
Carmelite water. Saint Jerome and the Angel. Yet again, art with political undertones with an image of a saint hearing voices. Judith beheading Holofernes. Ironic in a way, when you know that the artist represented herself as Judith beheading her mentor, who had raped her. Saturn devouring his son. Again? I saw the same theme in the hall. I wouldn't like to be his son. The conversion of St. Paul, by Caravaggio. It's incredible. It doesn't look like a copy, but I was sure the original was in Rome. St. Francis of Assisi in ecstasy, before superior voices. It always amuses me to see how art gets used for propaganda purposes. Golden Elixir. Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Your turn? The servants are not very efficient.
Durocher can't be far away. They'll find her soon. Their search time is restricted, given that they must keep an eye on Adams.
I can take care of her, you know.
Yes. Well, in any case, I do thank you for bringing her to the island.
From what I've understood, the search of de Richet's room hasn't turned up any results.
Not yet, no. But we've put her son in there. Perhaps he'll find something.
That might come in handy.
Louis grows impatient at not yet having met the famous Lord Mortimer.
He will meet him tomorrow.
Oh, what a pity to lose a knight at the start of the game. Are you waiting for someone?
A young French soldier.
During our game of chess?
Don't worry, Gregory. The game won't disappear. I'll have one of my men escort you back.
Don't trouble yourself. I know my way out.
Ah, good evening, gentlemen. Please forgive me for this late hour.
It is never too late, and we have much to discuss. One last move?
Don't worry. Our games always seem to end like this.
Or always start like this. Come, take a seat, my friend.
A little nighttime stroll, Mr. President?
There's nothing like it for a good night's sleep.
Do not hesitate to ask a servant to show you back.
The corridors seem quite safe.
Peppermint, lime flower, and valerian. My miracle remedy when one can't get to sleep. A very good night to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. And to you too, sir.
I'm coming.
Dear Monsieur de Richet, please excuse me, but I am unable to join you at present. However, rest assured that we are doing all we can to resolve the case that concerns us. By the way, enclosed, you will find a key that will enable you to retrieve the personal effects your mother left behind. Yours faithfully, Lord William Mortimer.
Inspiration of St. Matthew, or Matthew writing his gospel, dictated to him by voices. The torture of Ixion, condemned by the gods to lose his mind because of his arrogance. The incredulity of St. Thomas. Why is Caravaggio representing St. Thomas putting his finger in the wound? Thomas looks on but doesn't touch.
Excuse me. Am I bothering you?
No, not in the least. Is something wrong?
I'm going to need your help. Do you remember the young lady we spoke of in the hall?
Elizabeth Adams. Home introduced her to us.
Yes. Well, she is the daughter of my friend, the Vice President, John Adams. But she is supposed to be dead.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Fair enough.
Good heavens! I was present at her funeral.
It is disturbing indeed.
Yes. I need to make sure it's her. That's where you come in. I want you to distract Elizabeth while I search her room, and perhaps get my hands on some important information. At least, I hope so. Elizabeth is in the small salon. If you hurry, you can still catch her. I just need 10 minutes.
But if my vision is true, there are two men nearby discussing very important issues, and one of them looks much like Mortimer. Washington is very kind, but I came to this island for my mother, not for his ghost stories.
Sir, I don't feel well. I'm going to have to decline.
I see. Well, I hope you won't be needing my help one day.
I must act swiftly. I'll search my room later. I recognize this part of the corridor. I'm close. Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Locked. Shouldn't be too difficult. This doesn't seem to be the room for my vision. Tending children at the orphanage in Harlem. I find it a little hard to understand this painting choice. King George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English duchess. A fragment of amber.
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver. Keep me abreast of events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. Yours, E. T.S. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. I therefore cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons.
The letter from Lady Hillsborough that she apparently never got to send. Office 101. Buckingham Palace, London?
Dear Mr. Walsingham, nothing to worry about. I cannot meet you at the palace as planned, as an important matter has cropped up, which requires all my attention. You will guess who I have gone to fetch at dear Mortimer's, and thus you will understand my hurried departure.
What on earth is she talking about?
I can guarantee we'll be back as soon as possible. You will understand that to be able to serve you, I must assemble all my assets. You know I put the interests of the Crown above my own. Tell the Queen I, of course, will assume all of the responsibility and consequences for my absence. Your devoted servant, E.H.
Whoa. This looks so it would seem that our dear Emily's in the service of the British Crown. Now, I'm not saying she's definitely involved in shady deals, but I'll bet she does do some top-secret stuff. Sneaky little minx. I wonder who this Walsingham is. Well, at any rate, Emily didn't come here to finish up a deal with anyone. She came here looking for someone just like I did. The Lady's Waldegrave by Reynolds, painted upon the request of the Waldegrave family in an effort to find them a husband. Displayed like meat. It's disgusting. Grammar of Port-Royal. Ah, the artistry of the French language in all its splendor. Whoever masters French commands the world. At least une partie of it.
Golden elixir. I'll keep it for later. It's Emily's room. She's fast asleep. As beautiful by night as she is by day. An origami. This origami talks about the disappearance of a child. Only borrowing it, of course. A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers. Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen. The King's situation is worsening, but I wager he'll recover from this present fit. Next time you speak with Her Majesty the Queen, would you please be so kind as to ask her to look into my petition to raise taxes with the King? I will personally see to it that our nation will recover from this impasse. But King George's mental situation is slowing down our decision-taking. Thank you in advance for all your help. William Pitt, Prime Minister. Queen Charlotte. All the royal family of England is there from what I can tell. 2 coils circle the lock. A letter from William Pitt the Elder addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now. Madam, I shall never thank you enough for all your care and attention. I shall be indebted to you until my last breath. If you have any request of me, you only need ask. With regards to my son William, I shall never thank you enough for looking after him. You know the latter's preferences, and you will understand he needs you desperately. For that, and as agreed with Queen Charlotte, our friend Duke Hillsborough will carry out his task and meet with you within 6 months. From then on, you'll be free from want. Yours sincerely, William Pitt, Count of Chatham. A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits. A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits. 2 coils circle the lock.
Sir, I understand your eagerness, but the pressure on my family complicates the task.
Relax, my friend. Your relatives will soon be safe.
So what I saw in my vision really did happen. Well, I hope I haven't missed anything important.
I thank you so much.
Don't mention it. Now that's settled, let us speak about your support.
Yes. You mentioned earlier some assistance from the Golden Order?
Absolutely. I have concluded an agreement with their leader, Lady Sarah Faustine de Richet.
Another case that Mother didn't tell me about.
The funds from the order will finance the building of a foundry in Tuscany. You will soon be able to count on 100 or more cannons for your future campaigns.
I was not expecting so much help from you. When can I meet this de Richet?
Well, unfortunately, something has cropped up. De Richet has disappeared.
Disappeared? What, here?
Yes, but the staff are redoubling efforts to find her, I assure you.
So the agreement, is it on or off?
It is on. Her right-hand man has just arrived here to help us find her. And it is none other than her son, Louis Maurice de Richet. I wager he will ensure his mother's commitments are met.
Louis. Not an easy name to live with in these times.
Of course. But from now on, you will deal with him.
This man, it can only be Mortimer.
Very well. I will seek him out.
Ma'am. That was a close call.
When you see Louis, speak to him about the amount of our agreement.
And, how much exactly are we talking about?
20,000 louis d'or. A sum that will enable you to easily win your next conquests. My friend, an unparalleled destiny awaits you in France.
That is very flattering. However, is 20,000 louis d'or enough to purchase so many cannons?
In this case, yes. Madame de Richet and I have negotiated a very good price.
Very well. You can count on me to talk with her son.
Perfect. Remember that great things can be achieved with him on your side.
Of course. Anything else?
Not for now. Try to get some rest. The next few days are likely to be tiring.
Then, sir, I bid you a good evening.
Good evening, my friend.
It's time to leave.
Louis?
Emily? I can explain.
Perhaps, but remain still.
But first, you could perhaps remove the blade from my throat?
You have 10 seconds to explain your presence here.
Appearances can be misleading. I'm only passing through.
And the origami bird? I suppose it simply flew into your pocket.
Actually, I was just putting it back.
Oh, don't push your luck. What are you doing in my room?
I was only passing through. I swear it to you. I was in a hurry. I didn't know whose room I was entering. Look!
For someone in a hurry, you still found time to ogle me naked on my bed. Oh yes, the first time you came through, I was awake.
It was dark, and I didn't realize it was you. I had to look closely.
Shut your mouth, sir. You are only making it worse for yourself. You have been a great disappointment to me. Please leave now.
Your turn? The servants are not very efficient.
Durocher can't be far away. They'll find her soon. Their search time is restricted, given that they must keep an eye on Adams.
I can take care of her, you know.
Yes. Well, in any case, I do thank you for bringing her to the island.
From what I've understood, the search of Durocher's room hasn't turned up any results.
Not yet, no. But we've put her son in there. Perhaps he'll find something.
That might come in handy.
Louis grows impatient at not yet having met the famous Lord Mortimer.
He will meet him tomorrow.
Oh, what a pity to lose a knight at the start of the game. Are you waiting for someone?
A young French soldier.
During our game of chess?
Don't worry, Gregory. The game won't disappear. I'll have one of my men escort you back.
Don't trouble yourself. I know my way out.
Ah, good evening, gentlemen. Please forgive me for this late hour.
It is never too late, and we have much to discuss. One last move?
Don't worry. Our games always seem to end like this.
Or always start like this. Come, take a seat, my friend.
A little nighttime stroll, Mr. President?
There's nothing like it for a good night's sleep.
Do not hesitate to ask a servant to show you back.
The corridors seem quite safe.
Peppermint, lime flower, and valerian. My miracle remedy when one can't get to sleep. A very good night to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. And to you too, sir.
I'm coming.
Dear Monsieur de Richie.
Excuse me. Am I bothering you?
No, not in the least. Is something wrong?
I'm going to need your help. Do you remember the young lady we spoke of in the hall?
No. What's her name again?
Elizabeth Adams. Well, she is the daughter of my friend, the Vice President, John Adams. But she is supposed to be dead.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Fair enough.
Good heavens! I was present at her funeral.
It is disturbing indeed.
Yes. I need to make sure it's her. That's where you come in. I want you to distract Elizabeth while I search her room. And perhaps get my hands on some important information. At least, I hope so. Elizabeth is in the small salon. If you hurry, you can still catch her. I just need 10 minutes.
But if my vision is true, there are two men nearby discussing very important issues, and one of them looks much like Mortimer. Washington is very kind, but I came to this island for my mother, not for his ghost stories. Sir, I don't feel well. I'm going to have to decline.
I see. Well, I hope you won't be needing my help one day.
I must act swiftly. I'll search my room later. Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. Louis, you're straying from your objective. Duke Manuel Godoy. I recognize this part of the corridor. I'm close.
Good evening, sir. I'm sorry, but an important meeting is underway. My instructions are to let no one pass.
Tell me, my good man.
Sir?
Listen, I'm an insomniac, and Sir Holm told me that you could go to the kitchen and make me a cup of herbal tea.
And what is in this herbal tea, sir?
Holm gave Washington a recipe for a sleeping draught. What was it again? Peppermint, lime flower, and valerian.
Yes, it's herbal tea. I'll go and make it for you at once, sir.
I'll wait for you in my room. I need to find a place to watch undisturbed. A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised trait. The Prince, by Machiavelli. A perfect read for anyone with a surfeit of ambition. That might come in handy. Hannibal crossing the Alps. Another military success. Why do I get nothing but visions of horror in my room? And he gets honey. I couldn't have hoped for better. The Battle of Alexander at Issus, or how Alexander the Great triumphed over King Darius. Yet another one with delusions of grandeur. A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier. It's a beautiful weapon. A lovely damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles. My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. The situation is rapidly worsening here. Paoli continues to steer our motherland, Corsica, toward open warfare between France and England. His men are everywhere. We are obliged to go into hiding and are unable to remain in the same place for more than 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised if they targeted us soon. Make haste, my son. You hold our destiny in your hands. Your loving mother, Maria Letizia Bonaparte. Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost. I can't hear anything here. I've got to find another spot. This window opens onto the balcony. Okay, so that means the other room must be on my right.
Sir, I understand your eagerness, but the pressure on my family complicates the task.
Relax, my friend. Your relatives will soon be safe.
So what I saw in my vision really did happen. Well, I hope I haven't missed anything important.
I thank you so much.
Don't mention it. Now that's settled, let us speak about your support.
Yes. You mentioned earlier some assistance from the Golden Order?
Absolutely. I have concluded an agreement with their leader, Lady Sarah Faustine de Richet.
Another case that Mother didn't tell me about.
The funds from the order will finance the building of a foundry in Tuscany. You will soon be able to count on 100 or more cannons for your future campaigns.
I was not expecting so much help from you. When can I meet this de Richet?
Well, unfortunately, something has cropped up. De Richet has disappeared.
Disappeared? What, here?
Yes, but the staff are redoubling efforts to find her, I assure you.
So the agreement, is it on or off?
It is on. Her right-hand man has just arrived here to help us find her. And it is none other than her son, Louis Maurice de Richet. I wager he will ensure his mother's commitments are met.
Louis. Not an easy name to live with in these times.
Of course. But from now on, you will deal with him.
This man, it can only be Mortimer.
Very well. I will seek him out.
Ma'am. That was a close call.
When you see Louis, speak to him about the amount of our agreement.
And, how much exactly are we talking about?
20,000 louis d'or. A sum that will enable you to easily win your next conquests. My friend, an unparalleled destiny awaits you in France.
That is very flattering. However, is 20,000 louis d'or enough to purchase so many cannons?
In this case, yes. Madame de Richet and I have negotiated a very good price.
Very well. You can count on me to talk with her son.
Perfect. Remember that great things can be achieved with him on your side.
Of course. Anything else?
Not for now. Try to get some rest. The next few days are likely to be tiring.
Then, sir, I bid you a good evening.
Good evening, my friend.
It's time to leave.
Louis?
Emily? I can explain.
Perhaps, but remain still.
But first, you could perhaps remove the blade from my throat?
You have 10 seconds to explain your presence here.
I'm not here for you.
What are you doing in my room?
First of all, let's keep calm. My being here is just a coincidence. Anyway, I seriously doubt what I'm doing in your room is really the question that interests you. Now, is it?
Clever boy. So answer the question that does interest me. What were you really doing on the balcony?
Seeing the window open, I feared someone had entered your room. With what I'd heard next door, I'd every reason to believe that your life was in danger.
I am a grown woman, but how kind of you to worry about me. Now that I'm safe and sound, tell me more. Do these events concern me? Do they involve the Golden Order?
I overheard a conversation between a French soldier and some other individual.
And what were they talking about?
It seems Mother is involved, something about a military campaign. Apparently my mother validated an order of cannons to help this man.
Really? Since when does the Order finance wars?
As far as I know, since never.
Did they give any details, a date, what they were for?
Nothing at all. Did you know anything about this?
No, but I won't forget. Thank you. All right, Louis, I might have overreacted a bit. Please do excuse me, but next time, please try knocking on my door. I'd be delighted to open it for you.
Oh, well, I'll remember in that case. Good night, Emily.
Good night, Louis.
Your Eminence, what are you doing here?
I wanted to speak to you about something important. Do you still have my letter on you? The one I gave you in the hall?
Why do you ask?
I have a name to add to it.
Here it is.
Thank you, my son. Ah, I see that it's still sealed. I was right to put my trust in you, Luis. Now, give me 1 second, please. I can't imagine what would have happened if I hadn't added this name to the list. Please, be sure to give this letter to Sarah the moment you see her.
You can count on it.
Have a good night.
Huh, that's me. I'm exhausted. I better go to bed. I'll search my room tomorrow. If Mother stayed here right before me, you never know. And Mortimer had better show up. All right. In my vision yesterday, I saw that Mother had this room before me. I'd better search the room. Who knows? Maybe she left me something behind. Inspiration of St. Matthew, or Matthew writing his gospel.
I haven't even had time to unpack my cases.
Bien, Monsieur de Rich. Last Judgment. Why do I always get the most terrifying room?
Writing material.
From what I see, no ink's ever been used on this quill. The smell reminds me of something. It smells like lemon. That's odd.
Writing material.
The incredulity of St. Thomas. Why is Caravaggio represented St. Thomas putting his finger in the wound? Thomas looks on, but doesn't touch. The torture of Ixion, condemned by the gods to lose his mind because of his arrogance. Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Lovely lectures Mortimer's giving to his guests. Very jolly. Oh, this bookcase is well stocked.
Oh, this book has been put back the wrong way round.
A Voyage Around the World, the travelogue of the explorer Louis-Antoine de Bougainville. One of Mother's favorite books. What a coincidence. And I don't believe in coincidences. It's just too much. I don't know what's going on here, but if you felt threatened, I'll bet you'd leave a clue, wouldn't you, Mother?
Found it. A faint sign of the order, barely visible.
Mother, you undoubtedly must have hidden a clue in this book.
Let's see if I can find anything else in this room.
The paper's rougher around the writing.
The paper's moist here. Very light stain, barely visible.
And the smell reminds me of something.
Come on, Louis, think. Think.
Let's recap. My mother was in this room. I found a rare edition of her favorite book. She must have left something behind. She applied a liquid to the book.
She must have used the writing materials.
The quill has been used, but not with regular ink.
A message using invisible ink. I bet she used the limit to leave a message.
Now, how do I reveal the message?
The message is illegible. I have to keep searching.
A priest's robe, crosses. Must be Piaggi's room. When I was a boy, I used to love making secret messages with lemon juice. Handy for writing them, but useless for making them appear. This room looks unoccupied.
Nothing.
Ah, secret writing. Many people use this method for their secret correspondences. Light the flame and the ink appears. If a message is written in lemon juice, the flame will reveal it.
Look, markings on the floor. Just a bit worn out. I was hoping to find something leading to a secret passage. Apart from getting the book dirty, I can't see any use for this. That wasn't it. Not to mention I covered half the page with lemon juice. Great. Louis. Lemon's used to write secret messages, not to reveal them. I'll have to try something else. Aha! It's working. The heat reveals the message. Let's see what my mother wrote. Where all eyes size you up, you must pass by the Gorgon. Gorgon was the name of Medusa in Greek mythology. On the other hand, where all eyes size you up, I don't get it. And judging by the number of paintings in the manor, it could be anywhere. Damn! The message continues, but thanks to me, the rest of the text is unreadable. Great. I hope it wasn't a unique edition or my... All right. In my vision yesterday, I saw that Mother had this room before me. I'd better search the room. Who knows? Maybe she left me something behind. Last Judgment. Why do I always get the most writing material? From what I see, no ink's ever been used on this quill. The smell reminds me of something. It smells like lemon. That's odd. The incredulity of St. Thomas. Why is Caravaggio representing St. Thomas putting his finger in the wound? Thomas looks on, but doesn't touch. Nothing. The torture of Ixion, condemned by the gods to lose his mind. A Chinese coin. Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Look, markings on the floor. Just a bit worn out. I was hoping to find something leading to a secret passage. Oh, this bookcase is well stocked. Oh, this book has been put back the wrong way round. A Voyage Around the World. The travelogue of the explorer, Louis-Antoine de Bougainville. One of Mother's favorite books. What a coincidence. And I don't believe in coincidences. It's just too much. I don't know what's going on here, but if you felt threatened, I'll bet you'd leave a clue, wouldn't you, Mother? Found it. A faint sign of the order, barely visible. Mother, you undoubtedly must have hidden a clue in this book. Let's see if I can find anything else in this room. The paper's rougher around the writing. The paper's moist here. Very light stain, barely visible. And the smell reminds me of something. Come on, Louis, think. Think. Let's recap. My mother was in this room. I found a rare edition of her favorite book. She must have left something behind. She applied a liquid to the book. She must have used the writing materials. The quill has been used, but not with regular ink. A message using invisible ink. I bet she used a limit to leave a message. Now, how do I reveal the message? Apart from getting the book dirty, I can't see any use for this. A priest's robe, crosses. Must be Piaggi's room. All right. In my vision yesterday, I saw that Mother had this room before me. I'd better search the room. Who knows? Maybe she left me something behind. Last Judgment. Why do I always get the most writing material? From what I see, no ink's ever been used on this quill. The smell reminds me of something. It smells like lemon. That's odd. The incredulity of St. Thomas. Why is Caravaggio representing nothing? Hey, a Russian ruble. I wonder what it'd be worth today. Inferno by Dante. But look, markings on the floor. Just a bit worn out. I was hoping to find something leading to a secret passage. Oh, this bookcase is well stocked. Oh, this book was put back the wrong way round. A Voyage Around the World, the travelogue of the explorer Louis-Antoine de Bougainville. One of my mother's favorite books. What a coincidence. And I don't believe in coincidences. It's just too much. I don't know what's going on here, but if you felt threatened, I'll bet you'd leave a clue, wouldn't you, Mother? Found it. A faint sign of the order. barely visible. Mother, you undoubtedly must have hidden a clue in this book. Let's see if I can find anything else in this room. The paper's rougher around the writing. The paper's moist here. Very light stain, barely visible. And the smell reminds me of something. Come on, Louis, think. Think. Let's recap. My mother was in this room. I found a rare edition of her favorite book. She must have left something behind. She applied a liquid to the book. She must have used the writing materials. The quill has been used, but not with regular ink. A message using invisible ink. I bet she used a lemon to leave a message. Now, how do I reveal the message? Apart from getting the book dirty, I can't see any use for this. A priest's robe, crosses. Must be Piaggi's room. When I was a boy, I used to love making secret messages with lemon juice. Handy for writing them, but useless for making them appear. This room looks unoccupied. If a message is written in lemon juice, the flame will reveal it. Ah, secret writing. Many people use this method for their secret correspondences. Light the flame and the ink appears. Aha! It's working! The heat reveals the message. Let's see what my mother wrote. Where all eyes size you up, you must pass by the Gorgon. Gorgon was the name of Medusa in Greek mythology. On the other hand, where all eyes size you up, I don't get it. And judging by the number of paintings in the manor, could be anywhere. After that, she adds, beware hero. The beast always charges the best protected soldier. And that's its weakness. What is my mother trying to tell me? You've gone to so much trouble. You must not have only found something important, but you must have also felt like you were in great danger. Now I'd better hurry and find that damn Medusa.
Sir, dinner is served in the red salon.
Typical.
I'm not hungry. Please give my apologies to all the guests. Sir Holm requests your presence, sir.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to wait before going and looking for my Medusa.
Tell him I'll be there in a minute.
If I get a chance, I may have to take a little tour through the rooms of the other guests. Duke Manuel Godoy. Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Might be better to take a different stairway. That must be the door to the room of the soldier I saw in my vision.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte. It's a beautiful weapon, my dearest son. A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
A Byzant from the Byzantine Empire. A coin often used during the St. Louis era. Golden elixir. I'll keep it. Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar by Royer. Two
My
great
dear
army
Napoleon,
chiefs.
As previously agreed, I would like to ask you to join us in January on my island to participate in the High Society meeting organized for the occasion. We shall be able to continue our discussion about our project for a new order for France. I have a proposition to make to you concerning your wish to put a strong leader at the head of France. I trust you to be discreet as to your coming. See you soon. Lord William Mortimer.
French actor Talma is Nero in Britannicus, the last emperor of the Caesar dynasty. Amber.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte. Monsieur Jacques Perru. Monsieur Johann von Wollner.
That's the door to Elizabeth's room.
President George Washington.
Let no one disturb me. I'm busy.
Too bad. I'll see him later. Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. Huh, that's me. President George Washington.
For God's sakes, what happened in here?
A chest with a half-circle pattern.
An untutored hand copied these notes. Looks like a healing method. Well, that's a pity. The writing is barely legible. The note suggests binding the feet and hands, then blocking the jaws using a piece of cloth to prevent the tongue from being sectioned. That looks like a method to control an epileptic fit. I wonder if Elizabeth is the one being treated for that illness. Feet and hands are bound. A piece of cloth in the mouth prevents the tongue from being sectioned. It looks like preparation for an exorcism. Is Elizabeth really possessed?
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later. I have no space left. I'll retrieve it.
Looks like I found a box containing some kind of white crystals. These are magnesium crystals, a fairly effective remedy for easing anxiety. November 1791. My dear sister, the cancellation of our reunion hit me like a stab to the heart. Father told me it was for your well-being, but I can't help but blame him. He claims that your condition has worsened and that it could be dangerous for both of us if we met. If only I knew where you were, believe me, I'd be at your side. I haven't received any news from you in a long time. Please write. Your loving sister, Abigail. P.S. I hope you like the enclosed talisman. August 24th, 1792. Elizabeth, I am driven to despair and doubt there is any point in writing to you. I'm not even sure you'll receive my letters.
Father controls my correspondence more and more. I am certain he filters our exchanges. Thankfully, one of the chambermaids is able to help me get my letters to you. But they still remain unanswered. I often think about you and pray every day to be able to hold you tight. We have so much time to make up. I beg you, answer me, please. Your loving sister, Abigail. P.S. That horrible woman came again yesterday. She spent a long time speaking with Father. I didn't understand everything because they spoke in French, but I'm sure they were talking about you. June 11th, 1791. My dear Elizabeth, your last letter gave me much cause for concern. Your words were so cold, as if emotions no longer matter to you. Father maintains that the secondary effects of your treatment still trouble you, but that they will soon subside. Should I believe him? I cling to the belief that we shall soon see each other again, at long last. Right soon. Your loving sister, Abigail. P.S. Don't forget to tell me what present you want.
A novel of the initiation of a young woman into polite society. A cache.
My dear Elizabeth, I'm writing to inform you of some unfortunate news. We won't be able to meet as planned on the first Sunday of May. I've been told that you're no better, and, unfortunately, your brothers and I are absolutely snowed under by the work required to govern this new country. Please excuse us. As soon as we can get free, even if it's just for a day, I promise we shall come and see you. Your loving father, John Adams. P.S. Don't hold it against your mother. She still isn't ready. Please don't judge her. I'm sure you'll be able to put all of this behind you one day.
Excuse me, Monsieur de Richet. I really need to talk to you.
Hello. You're Elizabeth Adams, aren't you?
Yes, I regret that we haven't been properly introduced.
Do you often fall ill like that?
Yes, sometimes. But don't worry, I guess I'm kind of a frail flower.
Maybe you were feeling hungry.
No, it was nothing to do with being hungry. Fatigue, probably. I've been feeling more and more exhausted lately.
Well, get some rest then, Elizabeth. Take advantage of the sea air and you'll soon get your strength back.
Do you really want to know what made me ill? Last night, I found out that your mother was on the island. What are you doing here?
Excuse me, but speaking frankly, why would you care?
I know your mother very well.
Really?
Yes, I have been in your mother's care ever since I was born.
She nursed you?
Oh, I wouldn't say nursed. No, I remember her stare, cold as ice. her sadistic hands pressing over my mouth to silence me while I screamed in pain. I remember her knees, too. She held me down with them while she cut and burned scars into me.
Hold on a minute. What do you mean?
You can ask her when you see her.
Huh, she's getting more and more agitated. And next you're gonna tell me my mother's also responsible for that scar on your head?
My heart stopped twice during the operation. I lost my memory for 6 months. You obviously have no idea of the abuse your mother inflicted on me.
Wait. There must be some kind of mistake.
My only mistake was ever meeting your mother.
She's able to describe every detail without hesitation or getting flustered. It's becoming difficult not to believe the poor girl.
Look, I've got to go.
Wait. I need to know more about you and my mother. Why did she put you through all of that? There must be some reason for what she did.
What's the point of rubbing salt in the wounds?
You're right. I don't want this conversation to turn into an interrogation. You've suffered enough already. I respect your silence. Please excuse me.
Well, thank you. I know your little game. You're no different from the rest of them. You couldn't give a damn about me. The only thing you're interested in is finding out about your mother.
Don't say that. Not everyone wants to use you. Some people care about you, don't they? Haven't you got a sister?
Yes.
I'm sure she loves you with all her heart.
She's the only one who cares about me. I would have put an end to it all by now if it weren't for her. Since you insist, I'll tell you how I met your mother.
Thanks for trusting me.
You see, before I was born, my mother often suffered from hallucinations and fits of anger. Soon people could barely recognize her. She became a completely different person. So my father spent an enormous amount of money paying for the best doctors, but none of them were able to cure her. The last resort was to call a priest.
So, is that what your father did?
No. He went to an expert in the occult.
Ah, my mother.
Her reputation already extended beyond our borders. My mother's fits stopped at my birth, and Sarah de Richet concluded that the evil had passed into me. Not only did it encourage her to stay, but she took the opportunity to advise my father to separate me from the rest of my family. That's how I was declared stillborn. My fate was decided that very day.
It would coincide with my mother's frequent trips to America.
I had my first fit when I was 3. That's when your mother began her experiments to rid me of the evil inside.
I understand how you feel, but I know my mother. I'm sure she had her reasons, even if it seems difficult to believe.
Everything she put me through was all for nothing. My whole life was ruined for nothing.
So what brings you here then?
My father used to know Sir Holm. He offered to introduce me to the world's leading authority in the occult.
Lord Mortimer.
He was my last hope. Until I found out he had also invited your mother.
It's got to be a coincidence. I don't believe for a second she's come here for you.
You can't change my mind about this, Louis. My days are numbered, and I know it.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
I would like to speak about your master, Lord Mortimer.
Do please excuse me, sir, but I shall make no comment about my master. Is there anything else that Sir would like to know?
What can you tell me about the guests?
Do excuse me, sir, but I am bound by discretion to say nothing about Lord Mortimer's guests, sir. Perhaps Sir would like to know something else?
Yes. Can you briefly describe the ground floor, please?
Very well, sir. On the ground floor, there are mainly living rooms. Sir finds himself at present in the Grand Hall. From the Grand Hall, Sir can access, on one side, the small salon where the guests like to relax with a good book. From there, Sir can access the conference room, which is closed at present for preparations. That is where Lord Mortimer likes to gather all of his guests for talks. From the other side of the Grand Hall, Sir may access the dining room. That is where Sir's meals will be served. From the dining room, Sir may benefit from an exceptional view overlooking the island. It is also the best way to access the portrait gallery, where a large part of Lord Mortimer's works are exhibited. And in the gallery, Sir will also find access to the garden. But Sir may be reassured the building is accessible on both sides, so that it surrounds the garden in question. So, Sir should not find cause to worry. No one has ever gotten lost.
Except for my mother.
Has Sir another question?
What's on the first floor?
The first floor is reserved for guests, sir. That is where Sir will find his private rooms. The main corridor leads around the building. 3 stairways will enable Sir to return to the ground floor. It is also from there that Sir will be able to reach the second floor.
Thank you very much.
Anything else, sir?
Yes. What can I find on the second floor?
That floor is strictly reserved for Lord Mortimer, sir. In the west wing on the second floor are his private chambers. In the east wing are the rooms reserved for Lord Mortimer's personal guests. At the moment, these rooms are reserved for Sir Holmes, sir. But only authorized guests may access that area. Does Sir have any more questions?
What is outside on the island exactly?
Lord Mortimer has made a point of keeping the main part of the island in its natural state, sir. For security reasons, only the wharves and the gardens are accessible to guests. If Sir would like to walk along the wharves, he has only to follow the pathway used upon his arrival. If he would like to walk in the interior gardens of the manor, I would advise Sir to pass through the portrait gallery. May I help Sir in any other way?
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
My good fellow, would you have any amber available?
I would, but unfortunately I don't think I am authorized to give it out, sir. I believe it is a precious stone.
Look, you aren't going to kick up a fuss about a vulgar piece of resin, are you? Don't believe what they say about amber. It does nothing to warm up infants' bodies, let alone prevent toothache. And neither does this fossil oleoresin stimulate fertility. You can believe me.
Thank you for educating me. I didn't know. Here you are, sir. Does Sir desire anything else?
A little Carmelite water would do me a lot of good. Could you find me some, please?
Oh, the tonics are under lock and key, sir. Lord Mortimer only allows access to them in cases of emergency.
Listen, I suffer from terrible migraines, and the voyage by boat has brought on my rheumatism. So, unless you have anything else to alleviate the pain, please give me some quickly. Thank you. Oh, and the one from Bordeaux, right? I prefer it to the one from Paris.
Immediately, sir. Here, I hope Sir will get well again quickly. Anything else, sir?
I still haven't quite recovered after that boat crossing. Would you happen to have any devil's thorn by any chance?
I am sorry, sir, but the devil's thorn may be just a plant, but it is also a powerful psychotropic drug that causes undesirable diuretic effects. I would advise against, sir, taking any.
You see, Tribulus cystoides is from the Zygophalaceae family, very rich in nitrates and potassium chloride. It was used in India 700 years before Christ, my good fellow. And I know nothing better to perk you up.
Oh, as sir wishes. Here is the herb, sir. May I help you in anything else, sir?
You wouldn't have a little golden elixir I could use, would you?
Oh, unfortunately, sir, I have orders not to give any of that medicine to any of Lord Mortimer's guests. Some guests are here to follow a very strict treatment. Mixing or combining certain substances would be dangerous for sir.
My good fellow, you're right. One should never mix treatments without the advice of an expert. It so happens that I usually make my own golden elixir, but I haven't brought my kit with me. Perhaps, in that case, would you fetch a spoonful of ethyl alcohol, ethereal oil, and 10 milliliters of ethanol for me? Along with that, a small quantity of gold, please. Just a few crumbs will suffice.
Ah, I see that sir knows his subject. Therefore, I see no reason why I shouldn't give them to you. I hope that will be enough for you, sir, because I haven't any more.
Thank you. That will be fine.
May I help with anything else, sir?
What's that book you're hiding in your jacket?
The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe, sir, and I am not hiding it.
Hand it to me, please.
It is damaged, sir. I would never dare lend sir a book in such a pitiful state, sir. I took it to restore.
Indeed, this masterpiece must not become more damaged. Let me have it and I'll take care of it personally. I love antiquarian books.
It bothers me somewhat. It isn't sir's job to take care of it, really.
No, but I would love to. You'll be doing me a favor by letting me have it.
In that case, sir, I shall leave it in your care with pleasure. May I do anything else for sir?
Dear friends, I bid you welcome. I hope the night was not too short. Your Eminence, Duchess, Monsieur de Richet, allow me to introduce our new guests. They arrived during the night. Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs and close aide of Frederick William II, King of Prussia. Napoleon Bonaparte, Lieutenant of the French Revolutionary Army. And Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. Unfortunately, my friends, Lord Mortimer will not be joining us this morning, but he should be with us later. So, let us begin.
What is Mortimer playing at? He tells me to come urgently and he sends no one to meet me?
Of course.
Absolutely. It is remarkable.
Peru looks totally out of place here.
Please, go ahead.
He's counting the 10 sets of cutlery around each plate? The man is completely lost.
Please, feel it.
Thank you again for the wine, Your Eminence. It is served every day at the king's table.
I am delighted to hear.
And you, sir?
Volner and Piaggi seem to be getting along well. Surprising when you know Volner prohibited religious practices in Prussia. Renowned member of the Rose Croix Order, former Freemason, and great lover of alchemy. And look at Piaggi fawning over him. I really do have a problem digesting political protocol.
And right he was, too.
My dear Johann, how are you?
Glad to make landfall at last. And yourself?
Very well.
And your husband?
He's poorly. The French Revolution gives him terrible headaches.
Oh, I understand. I shall feel better too, as soon as the situation is settled.
If by chance the French crisis is emulated in Berlin, there will always be a refuge for you in London, my dear.
Your offer does you honor, Emily. But London is much closer to Paris than Berlin. Beware. The French are capable of sailing up the Thames straight to the Houses of Parliament.
Oh, my friend, I am shaking in my clogs.
Show us your teeth.
A Prussian-Britannic coalition is not good for France. The last time we fought against them, our empire went up in smoke.
Is the wine to your liking?
Very much so, Sir Gregory. Such complexity. Typically French. A Sauterne, isn't it?
Absolutely.
If I'm not mistaken, this is not Lord Mortimer's favorite wine. It is yours.
In his absence, I have taken the liberty of making a slight deviation from the rule, but I count on your discretion.
Don't worry, I appreciate the same grape varieties as you. I remember the last time we tasted that nectar here at this table. The finest minds of the century were present.
And the last time we drank it, the orphanage in Bloomsbury was still in ruins.
Would you repeat that?
Oh, well, I put some small effort into the works. The orphanage reopened just before Christmas. The bedrooms, washrooms, and the classrooms had all been refurbished.
I don't know what to say. You have given the girls a wonderful Christmas gift. Thank you.
I made a promise. Now it is done.
It's the first time I've ever seen her so moved. Just mention that orphanage broke right through Emily's hard shell.
Oh? Is everything all right?
Yes, thank you. I had a moment of absence, but here I am again.
Very funny, sir.
What do you think of Volner?
The Prussian king is his puppet.
I find it hard to believe the king of Prussia is so weak.
Be careful. Volner is as influential as he is dangerous.
You seem to know each other well.
We used to work together.
I see.
Who does not know of her, sir?
Have you any information on this Napoleon?
What are you doing out there? Don't trouble yourself.
Mortimer is arranged to keep his family out of the harmful reach of Corsican monarchists.
Interesting.
And that's not all. Mortimer and my mother have apparently agreed to deliver cannons to this Bonaparte.
What? Since when does the Order finance wars? Are you sure?
Unfortunately, yes. And the fact you didn't know my mother made this agreement makes it even stranger.
Thank you, Louis. At least you have taught me something.
Oh?
Monsieur de Richet, it would seem we have common interests. Could we speak in private, please? Lord Mortimer and the Golden Order, through your mother, have concluded a financial agreement.
Stay composed, Louis. I'm listening.
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother. You must know that I am deeply sorry about their disappearance, but I must validate the deal urgently if I want to be able to organize things properly.
I haven't seen Lord Mortimer yet. I'm afraid I'll be unable to answer your questions.
He assured me that you could replace your mother during her absence.
I appreciate his confidence, but still, this is a bit hasty. But please continue.
Of course, but I need to know if I can count you among my allies.
Well, of course.
And for that, I have a little question for you. The agreement stipulates an aid of 50,000 louis d'or for 200 cannon.
Surely such an amount will buy twice as many cannons. Don't try to pull a fast one on me. We're both young, but we are not naive.
Please don't be offended. I just wanted to make sure you knew what you were talking about, and I am reassured. I have one last question I would like to pose to you. We don't know each other yet, you and I need to make sure that we both share the same vision for the future of France. Given the hard times that have befallen our beautiful country, what do you think it would take to restore its luster?
The revolution was a good thing, but it gave birth to a monster. We must overthrow the new system in place.
Ah, you are right. Monsieur de Richet, I am reassured. I am very happy to have met you. Lord Mortimer was right to put his trust in you. I hope to work with you in the very near future. I would like to thank you for your support by offering you this humble little gift.
Reflections on the Revolution in France.
Monsieur Bonaparte, I thank you for this gesture, and please know that I, too, am delighted to have met you.
My friends, I would like to say a few words, please. I would like to thank Lord Mortimer, and you, Sir Holm, for bringing us all together here. Those of us for whom it is not the first time here, like me, are all trembling in sweet anticipation of the arrival of our host. For the rest, I would like to reassure you that Lord Mortimer always has a few surprising projects to propose. But I can assure you that each and every one of us has always benefited from them. The last time I came to this place, Lord Mortimer offered to help me in my electoral campaign for the presidency of the United States. And it is eminently clear that his support was an invaluable aid to us. We are here among like-minded people. So let us put aside the conflicts in which some of our nations find themselves at present. So I raise my glass in honor of you all, my new and old friends.
I trust you shall not be disappointed, Mr. Washington.
Washington is a very gifted speaker. Leave him for 5 minutes with sworn enemies and he'll convince them to be friends for life.
Right, we shall meet again tomorrow. All the guests will be present, as well as Lord Mortimer, I hope. Until then, I trust you will find plenty to keep you amused.
All right, let's recap. Before dinner,
I was going to investigate my mother's message. I've got to find the place where all eyes size you up. The lock is surrounded by a triple circle. I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Circe.
Dining on ham. Well, that's very appetizing.
Well, Your Eminence, do you still have any room left?
Ah, my son, the sin of gluttony is the most difficult of all in my eyes. Nevertheless, what a charming moment we have had together. I'm delighted I was able to talk to Mr. von Wollner. We hadn't spoken to each other for an eternity.
Yes. I noticed that Your Eminence knew a fair number of people at the table.
The benefit of age, my son. This isn't my first invitation to Lord Mortimer's. You will see, it's the perfect place to make new friends. Indeed, I noticed that you and Mr. Bonaparte had already begun.
Ah, I adapt quickly to local customs. It's what I was taught.
And you are right to do so, my son. But tell me, have you had any news of your mother since your arrival?
Alas, still nothing, Your Eminence. But I still haven't been able to meet Lord Mortimer.
Do not worry. It is typical of him. What can I say? Lord Mortimer is a very busy man. I should think you are beginning to worry.
Well, I must admit, Your Eminence, indeed it does worry me.
I understand, but continue to have faith in Sarah. You'll see, I'm sure, that in a few days we'll all be laughing together.
That's all I hope for, Your Eminence. But while I have you with me, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Louis. What can I do for you?
As I haven't visited all the manor yet, I wondered if you hadn't seen a Medusa by any chance.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, La Gorgogne, the Medusa from Greek mythology. Would you have seen one in any shape or form?
Not at all, my son. I'm not sure what you're getting at, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be of any use to you.
Thank you anyway, Your Eminence. I won't take up any more of your time. On that last word, then, I shall leave you to fight your demons. See you later, Your Eminence.
See you later, my son.
This painting has caused some debate. Who did Dossi paint? Alcina the fairy or Circe the magician? A swine in a salon. That's an odd choice of decor. Romney painted Lady Hamilton as Circe. Discourse on the Method by Descartes. This book changed the way I looked at the world. Circe preparing wine. What better trap for Ulysses? conversion of Ulysses by Gurs. Circe changing Ulysses' companions into swines. Circe turning Ulysses' companions back into humans. Amber crystals.
Petrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
A few pages out of an old encyclopedia. A Chinese coin. Where all eyes size you up. Chances are, that's the room my mother spoke of. And she also spoke of a Medusa. Should I go and try to find the creature now? Liberty or Death by Regnault. Ah, painting by Ingres. Molière dining with Louis XIV. Allegory regarding the decoration of the rights of men. That's the least you could say. Celia. That name means nothing to me. Christ Crucified by Velázquez. Look, someone's left a note there. Reserved for the Duke of Alcudia. Celia. That name means nothing to me. The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. The last day before his crucifixion, Jesus announces that he will be betrayed by one of his disciples. A meeting between Louis XIV and Philippe V. I wonder why Mortimer's particularly fond of this painting. The Company by Rembrandt. Amber. The Fall of Phaeton, another painting by Rubens. Poor Phaeton, struck by lightning by his father Apollo for borrowing his chariot and losing control of it. Moral, don't steal Dad's chariot. Amber. The Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near, his brain is oozing by either ear. With his François Ier, Receiving the Holy Family, a painting by Raphael. painting with no name. Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it. Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better.
I've got to find out what Mother was trying to do with her. The Medusa. A hero armed with a sword? A hero with a lantern. And the last one holding a shield. I'll stake my life on it. All the statues form a single scene together. The poor devils are about to face the beast. Let's give them a helping hand. The Origin of Myths, a reinterpretation of legendary creatures. Just what I need. The text is in French on the left-hand page and in Latin on the right hand. Let's find the chapter on the Medusa. There's an extra line in the Latin translation. The night light was reflected in the shield and blinded the monster. So the hero with the sword seized the opportunity and cut off its head. Hang on. This version is significantly different from the regular one. It recounts how men have always belittled women in society. Harpies, mermaids, the chimera, the hydra, the gorgons. Ah, the section on the Medusa. While some of the heroes divert attention from the gorgon, the hero with the sword brandishes his weapon at the Medusa. When I see the lantern and the shield, I can't help thinking back to my childhood. Mr. Dorfer, our teacher. As soon as the sun came out, I got a kick out of distracting him with the inkwell by deflecting the light with it. I'd turn it in such a way as to direct a spot of light onto his face, not strong enough to dazzle him, but just enough to annoy him. Hey, what if I tried to annoy the Medusa with the lamp on the shield? Position it just right, and it might work. Now, Louis, it's time to keep a logical mind, as every good scientist should. The aim is to defeat the Medusa, so what can the lantern be for? To light up the Medusa? Hardly likely. The hero holding the lantern will be easy prey, and the shield will be of no use. To light up the sword? No, that makes no sense. So that leaves the shield. I wonder if the aim is to play with the light. If I turn the shield right, the light would be reflected. The ray of light will perturb the Medusa and focus her attention on the best protected hero. Let's think. To vanquish the beast, the statues have to be lined up in a specific order. What can this shield be for? To protect its holder? Why not? But in that case, What's the lantern for? Step back and take a second, Louis. Be logical, but open-minded. Think outside the box. Nobody said a statue has to have only one use. I wonder if the lantern was to distract the Medusa. This shield can both protect the holder and also reflect the light from the lantern to distract the beast. In other words, I'll have to make an angle of 90 degrees between the lantern and the Medusa by turning the shield to face the sword. If Mortimer's the one who thought of all this stuff, then honestly, he must have a screw loose. Crazy idea, but worth a shot. The mechanism is worn here. Whenever the shield is not turned toward the sword, the machinery freezes up. The statue must have been in this position most of the time, betrayed by the marks of time. So that makes it easy. The shield must face the sword. The statue is darker on the right-hand side. It must be often placed towards the fire, which would explain the difference in color. In that case, it would be facing the Medusa. Perfect for the coup de grace. This hero is the only one holding a weapon. It seems obvious that he's the one whose job is to cut off her head. So, sword toward the Medusa. In Greek mythology, anyone who looked into the eyes of the Medusa turned to stone. So the monster's statue must be turned towards someone who can protect their eyes. It can only be the hero holding the shield. The clue I found said, "Beware hero. The beast always charges the best protected. That is its weakness." That's the key. The best protected hero is the one holding the shield. Thank you, Mother. Rah! For Pete's sake, Emily! You scared the pants off me. Don't ever do that again.
Well, keep your nose out of my business then.
I don't know what you're talking about.
First my room, now here. Stop following me, you're becoming a nuisance.
Wait a minute, you're not implying that I'm here to court you, are you?
Oh, Louis, I'm just stating the obvious. You wouldn't be the first, rest assured.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. The worst thing is it seems to be working.
Stop fooling around and tell me what you're doing here.
I've discovered a hidden message from my mother. She explains how to find the secret room. Something must have attracted her here, so I've come to check it out. And you? What brings you here?
My, you're curious.
Let me guess.
Go on then, impress me.
You're spying on Mortimer, right?
Everyone is spying on Mortimer.
Shall I take that for a yes?
Take it as you please, but I wouldn't be surprised if all the guests were around here somewhere searching the manor. Well, no matter. I'll tolerate your presence this one time. Now, since you're here, make yourself useful. Look around on your side. I'll do the same on mine. And if you find anything of interest, let me know.
Oh, yeah. In your dreams. At your service, madam.
Ancient Greek, translated. It reads, the all-gifted. Could this jar be the original Pandora's box? Emily, I've found Pandora's box. It's not as impressive as I thought it would be, but that's how these things usually go.
I detest that legend. Once again, women are made responsible for all of the world's evils. And stop playing with that pot, you'll break it. Come on, let's move on.
The heavenly symbols refer to Pandora's box. Emily, I'm pretty sure I've got Pandora's box.
Of course you have. You see an earthen pot and you immediately assume it can only be Pandora's box. Logical. What I like about you, Louis, is that you never fail to surprise me.
Emily, what if I open the jar? Would that then make man responsible for all the evils?
Try. It'll make a change. All right, can we move on now?
I do love your irony, but honestly, are you ever impressed by anything you see?
By a chamber pot? No, you really do need to do better than that.
A golden fleece.
It's freezing. Hurry up.
Do you think that can really be Jason's golden fleece?
No, you are aware that Jason and the Argonauts is a myth, aren't you?
But Mortimer's been protecting this hide. It must be of great value, don't you think?
Certainly of historical value. This kind of hide is still used by gold diggers in Eastern Europe. Now you see how easy it is to obtain a legend.
Why do you have to act so nonchalant every time I show you something?
Louis, anyone can kill a sheep, rip off its hide, and say it's the golden fleece.
We're at Lord Mortimer's, not at some farmyard fair. You're just too skeptical.
And you have a tendency to believe anything. Talk about an unlikely pair.
Yet, you know opposites attract, don't you?
An unofficial gospel? You'd be more likely to find this kind of book at the Vatican.
Nothing special. The library at Buckingham has 3.
The Gospel according to Judas, or How to Crucify Jesus as part of God's plan. You do realize that the contents of this book could undermine the very foundations of Christianity.
One more reason to leave it in the secret room of a lost manor on a private island.
Do you realize how important this book is?
Of course, but what I really want to know is how did it come into Mortimer's possession?
I was thinking the same thing about all the paintings and sculptures in the manor. I bet you've read them cover to cover.
Naturally.
Really? I'm curious. Tell me, what part stood out the most to you?
The passage where Mary says to Joseph, "Hey, you, shut up."
In other words, you haven't even opened one.
Hey, Mortimer's the author of this work. It talks about his passion for art.
Guess what I found?
The Holy Grail.
Older than that.
A piece of Noah's Ark.
Not that old.
This could go on for hours. Just tell me.
Caesar's laurel wreath. The workmanship on this crown is amazing. The finesse of the gold laurel leaves is beautiful. A crown worthy of an emperor. I'd stake my life that it's the genuine article.
Stop! don't put your grubby fat fingers on it.
Do you find my fingers fat?
At least put on some gloves.
Please note, my fingers are slim.
You were going to leave marks. My God, what an amateur.
Many a harpsichord players would love to have sexy fingers like mine.
Tell me where you took your infiltration classes so I can have your tutor executed.
Let's compare hands then. We'll soon see whose fingers are fattest.
No, I'm not going to compare hands with you. Let's just keep going.
Bad loser. You should see this sword, Emily. It's magnificent.
I'm busy. Describe it to me.
Brass quillons and knobs. A beautiful cruciform line. Judging by the wear and the technique used to forge it, this sword dates back to the Crusades, and it must have belonged to a wealthy knight. There's a date. MCXC, 1190. That's right. Forged for the Crusades. This weapon is typically French, quite old, undoubtedly goes back to the Crusades. If it is a true Damask sword, it's worth more than a kingdom. It really does look like Joan of Arc's sword.
The famous Maid of Orleans. One of your favorite historical heroines.
You bet. Given the number of English butts she kicked.
And we all know where that got her. When you finished playing, maybe you can help me search the place?
Amber crystals.
Here's something interesting. A manor in Maine, hundreds of acres of land in Catalonia, properties in Shanghai. Incredible. Some of these deeds are over 600 years old, and all signed by the hand of Mortimer.
I wonder if that's what inspired my mother's attention. How come all these documents have Mortimer's signature on them?
Do you think all these properties really belong to him?
See those fine scratches around the words?
Yes, and?
The ink barely spreads on the paper. It spreads exactly the same way on the signature. The deed was written using the same ink. If it is a fake, then it's a professional job. These documents must be fakes. No man can own that many original works, no matter how rich he is.
Be careful. The Order has tried many times to estimate his personal wealth without ever succeeding.
And look here. Castles in Scotland, vineyards in Italy, districts in Venice. He's richer than some European countries.
These documents are intriguing, but do you really think that's what attracted your mother's attention here?
I don't know. She was obsessed with Mortimer, and I must confess, these property deeds are troubling.
If that's the case, why would she have left them?
Once again, I don't know. We'll have to ask her when we find her. And what's your take? Mortimer's collection is unique, isn't it?
That's an understatement. No doubt he has a major passion for history and fine art, or getting gifts.
If each time Mortimer does someone a favor, they reward him with a priceless gift, that means he must have helped nearly everybody in the world. I wonder why my mother didn't make it clear what she was interested in here.
She didn't have time to write it down, or maybe she wasn't sure of what she was looking for.
Or she wanted to protect her discoveries. It's disturbing.
You'll just have to search the rest of the room. Maybe you'll find something.
Oh, looks like a pamphlet on different political regimes, written by Mortimer himself.
I found an amazing ring. There's an inscription engraved on it. The mythical ring of the Nibelung.
Louis, do you really believe it's the ring of the legend?
You should try it on. They say if you wear it on your finger, it makes you more agreeable.
How droll. In the legend, it's a cursed ring.
You're married. Why don't you wear a wedding ring?
You mean wear something just to prove your love? Not my style. Carry on searching. What is that you found?
A cameo pendant. What's going on?
Nothing.
For crying out loud, Emily, you lunged for that jewel like your life depended on it. Tell me what this is about.
No. I can't trust a man who sneaks into my room in the middle of the night.
Are you really gonna use that against me every time we meet?
It's difficult to pretend nothing happened. We just met, Louis. I like you, but I can't just suddenly open myself up like a book to you.
Listen, Emily. It seems pretty obvious to me that you haven't come here for the sole purpose of sampling Mortimer's cellar.
Stop all the clever evasions and just trust me.
And why the hell should I place my trust in you, Louis?
When are you going to understand that I just want to help you?
What do you expect? That I'll fall into your arms and say yes to everything you want?
What are you talking about? I'm only asking you to trust me a little.
If only on principle, as a member of the Golden Order, for example.
I'll admit you are fairly reliable.
That's it? I was expecting more.
Well, I'm prepared to trust you when it comes to choosing a French cheese. But I've nothing to gain by confiding in you any further than that.
Nothing to gain? Damn it, Emily! I'm only trying to help you. Stop needing to gain something all the time.
Because you think I need help?
Just like everyone. You have your strengths and your weaknesses. And there's no use pretending otherwise.
Ha! And I bet you found out where I'm weak, haven't you?
Pragmatic, intelligent, sure of herself. Her only weak spot is her difficulty talking about herself.
I don't know much about your past, but I'm guessing you had to get by on your own for much of your life. It might have closed you off, and that can be a disadvantage. It might be time for you to open up and risk a little trust. Not every man you meet wants to hurt you.
Yes, you may be right. I might have some weaknesses, but I don't need your help to overcome them. And I'm simply not contemplating collaborating with anyone at this time. Do you understand?
Yes, it's perfectly clear. You're already working with someone.
Ah, well spotted, Louis. I already have a work partner. I know my weaknesses. I don't doubt that your abilities will be of use to me, but I already have all that, thanks to my teammate.
Is there any chance you might tell me who he is?
No, I've already said too much. Consider yourself lucky I've even given you this much. It's extremely rare, believe me.
Come on, don't stop now that you've come this far. You know that eventually I'll end up making you talk.
Well, since no one can resist you, let's see if you can guess who my partner is.
You're a gambler. So, your partner is... your sister. She's your partner. She's the one you're looking for.
Well, I am impressed. How the devil did you guess I had a sister? Virtually no one even knows. When it comes to getting results, you are very good, I grant you that. You deserve to know why the sight of the cameo pendant affected me so strongly. I thought it belonged to Emma, my twin sister.
Oh. Now I get why you said you had a memory for two.
Yes. You can't imagine to what extent, though. As children, everyone got us mixed up. So one day we decided to play along. Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough. The woman with two faces.
Clever. But isn't it complicated? How do you make it work?
One of us has no existence in the outside world. We share everything. First for one, then for the other. We dress the same, wear the same makeup, we speak the same. We've learned to act as one. When we accept a mission, we both turn up. This time, though, she went ahead, and I was meant to wait for her on the mainland. She was meant to meet Sir Home and bring back the details so we could work out who would follow up.
And there was a problem?
She was supposed to return from Mortimer's 1 week ago. The boat turned up at Plymouth, but alas, no trace of my sister. Instead, a sailor passed me a message from home, notifying me of her sudden disappearance.
So, my mother and your sister go missing just a few days apart. That's strange. Maybe their disappearances are linked.
It's clearly a possibility, but up to now I haven't found a trace of either of them.
None of this is very reassuring.
By the way, Louis, now that you are in on the secret, you are obliged to keep it to yourself, or you will pay very dearly.
Don't worry. Your secret is safe with me.
It's time to leave.
So, what do you think of our first adventure?
I must admit, it has been fun by your side.
Same here.
Oh, she's been drinking too much again.
Louis, I need to talk to you right now.
Good evening, Elizabeth. Actually, this is not a good time.
I'm begging you, please don't leave me alone.
I'll be waiting for you in your room, but don't be late.
I was sure there was a certain je ne sais quoi between us.
Louis, we need to talk now. Otherwise, it'll be too late.
Looks like Elizabeth really needs me, but if I start talking to her, for sure Emily won't wait for me. What should I do? Excuse me, Elizabeth, but some very urgent business has cropped up. We can speak tomorrow.
No, Louis, don't leave me alone. They've come back.
Good night, madam.
Well, well, Louis, you took your sweet time. What did our poor Elizabeth want?
The real question would be this. What exactly are you doing, Emily, in my room?
I've enjoyed our discussions very much, and I had hoped that we could continue them.
Emily? Have I misunderstood something here? What are you doing in my room?
And for a while now, a question has been nagging at me.
And that explains why I now find you here, in my bed. Go ahead. Ask me the question that's been burning at your lips.
I know your mother was here to meet someone, but I can't figure out who.
Oh, so that's what's been hiding behind all this.
We are both members of the Order, Louis. Let's try to be honest with each other. I have followed with great interest your affair in Paris, in connection with Mr. von Borchardt. You managed to steal something from him, if I'm not mistaken.
Emily, you suddenly seem to be very interested in my private affairs. You aren't pumping me for information, are you?
Not in the least, Louis. I'm deeply hurt that you'd even think such a thing of me.
Look, I'm sorry. I just thought that...
Well, you thought wrong. I was interested in you, that's all. But that seems to be beyond you.
Don't take it like that. My mother and I recovered an old occult book that von Borchardt was planning to resell on the black market. There. Now you know it all.
This is quite fascinating. But just what did Sarah expect to accomplish here?
It's fairly obvious that you're still trying to extract information from me, Emily.
Not at all, my friend. You obviously have a dark view of humanity. One can't chat about anything without you seeing some evil plot.
Whoa, don't get your panties all in a bunch. Okay, fine. My mother thought she might find the buyer of von Borchardt's book here. I think she thought he'd be one of the people here on the island right now.
Ah, I see. Right. Enough chatting. Come and join me instead. I have to go, Louis. I don't want anyone finding me here in the morning.
You're right. Well, have a good night.
Good night. See you tomorrow, rested and ready.
Sure thing.
Lord Mortimer?
Monsieur de Richet, at last we meet.